Dimensional analysis is the process that we use to convert between units. So remember, to convert just means to change between units. To understand dimensional analysis, you have to understand some basic algebra principles. If I have x, I'm going to multiply it by y over x. What you will get will be x, y over x. Okay? Because x, and it's the same thing as x, this, if I can box it, is the same thing as 1. X over x is the same thing as 1. X and x cancel out. So all you'll be left with is y. Okay? This is very important to understand for dimensional analysis because we need to cancel units for dimensional analysis. Just like we canceled x and x here, and all we were left with is y. For example, if we were to say, all right, you have 16 quarters. 16 quarters. And I want to know, how many dollars is that? Most people can do that kind of stuff in your head. So what I'm going to show you here is the dimensional analysis that shows exactly what you are doing in your head. So we know, or hopefully you should know, that 16 quarters, that 4 quarters, I'm just going to use Q, it looks like a 9 though, Q, 4 quarters equals $1. This is a conversion factor when you have an equivalence then. So for dimensional analysis, you always start, I'm going to call this a T-chart, always start with what you were given in the first little frame. So you're given 16 quarters. And it's always best to always write down your units. That way you know exactly what to put where. Okay, so we have 16 quarters here, there. Since we have 16 quarters, quarters is our unit here, we need quarters to cancel out to change to dollars. So that means on the bottom, down here, we're going to need quarters too. This whole area is where our conversion factor goes. Since I have quarters up top here, I have to have quarters here. And in our conversion factor, there are 4 quarters. On top, that's equal to $1. Some people like to put a 1 here so they know they don't need to write anything there, since 16 by itself, if we were to put it as a fraction, would be 16 over 1. So then here's what happens mathematically. We take these values and multiply across. Take these values and multiply across. When we do that with the units, just like with x, y, and x, we'd have quarter dollars over quarters. So the quarters cancel out, and all you're left with is dollars. The numerical value, 16 times 1, is 16, divided by 1 times 4, 16 over 4, 16 divided by 4, equals 4. And our new unit now, since quarters canceled out, is dollars. So your answer would be $4. Now I know most people can do this in their head, and when we talked about the SI units, we said the SI units were pretty easy to convert, that you'll be able to do it in your head. However, dimensional analysis is very, very important for chemistry. This is a very important concept, and if you struggle with dimensional analysis, chemistry will be pretty difficult in certain parts. So you need to make sure you understand dimensional analysis. Okay, so we'll do a couple more practice examples, this time with the metrics, or with the SI system that we had been measuring. So on the back of one of the handouts you got in class, there was a drawing of a hand. This happened to be my hand. When we measured it, my hand was 16.9 centimeters from the bottom of my palm to the top of my middle finger. Okay, so 16.9 centimeters, and now let's say I want to know how many meters is that. If you remember from our chart, centi meant 100. So I'm just going to a new page so I have more room. Sorry about that. So centi means 100th, so we had 100 centimeters equal to 1 meter. Wow, that was really bad. Centimeters. When you set up your T-chart, always start with your given, which in this case was 16.9 centimeters. I'm having trouble writing the C's. Since I have centimeters here, I have to have centimeters here. For my conversion factor, I have 100 centimeters. That's equal to 1 meter. And again, I just throw the 1 there, so I don't have a blank spot. Multiply across, multiply across. Centimeter cancels out. 16.9 times 1 is 16.9. 1 times 100 is 100. Okay. Now this part, 16.9 divided by 100, gives us 0.169, and my unit is now meters.